Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Boardgame Heaven Talks Accessories, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the Gift Forge International insert for Dark Souls, the board game. What you see here came pre-assembled, so the Gift Forge sends their inserts pre-assembled, so you don't have to do that yourself, which saves time, and this will have room for several of the components and the miniatures, so I'm going to show you how it all fits inside the box and where everything goes. But before I do that, I'd like to ask you to please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because that really helps the channel, and if you have, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Also, please check out my Patreon page by clicking the link in the description below, and Patreons of my channel get their names in the credits as a supporter, and you also get early access to all of my videos and access to Patreon exclusive videos. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look. So this is the insert for Dark Souls, the board game. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You have one big tray with a lid that you can just take off, so you can reach the miniatures inside. I'll turn it around so you can see it. So it has the names of all the miniatures that go here printed on the bottoms, and they kind of just clip in. Same on this side here. So that's just a matter of finding those minis and putting them inside. And the bigger one does have this glued in, so you can actually take it out of the box by the handle. Has, of course, the bigger monsters, the bosses, and Ornstein in here as well. And then finally you have this tray, which can sit on top of this one or underneath it. I just put it on top with 4 more miniatures. A big tray with some filling material still in it, but a big tray for all of the loose components, tokens. This for the dice, and this for the big cards and the smaller cards. Pretty straightforward. And the dice tray has a side that you can take out. So this is loose. You can glue it if you want to, but it is deliberately made loose so you can take that out, so the dice can be taken out a little bit more easily. So I'm just gonna take all of my components out of their bags, got them over here, and put everything where it belongs, and I'll show you where that goes, and then I'll put everything back inside the box. So see you in a bit. All right, you died. So first of all, I'll show you where everything goes. So of course the bigger tray here, which has all these big bosses, and I had mine painted, look really nice. So you just put them where the insert tells you to put them, but you have to turn them around a bit before you clip them in, because of all their big weapons and everything, you know, pieces sticking out. But I found it fits really nicely like this. I have the demon just facing you, and here Smog as well, and then this knight facing inward because he's got this huge big sword pointing in, so he's butt first. And on the other side, there's of course Ornstein. On the right there, you have this winged knight, which I turned so that his back is in between the staff of the demon and the tail of the demon. That just works. And his halberd here is still within the tray, as you can see. And then the gargoyle here is slightly pointed to the left, because otherwise his snout would poke out. So you just rotate him slightly and it works with the wings, just goes over those other characters. And his axe is over here, but since the dancer of the Boreal Valley is so slim, that just fits next to his legs. They just don't touch. It's really good. And it's very easy to put them in as well because of the big circles. You can also take them out quite easily. So it says here, Winged Knight, for example, you just position him and slide him in towards the back. So, you know, turn him a little so that the halberd is doing well. And then you just push it in the back into those lips over there. And with your thumb, you just press down this and it's done. And they're all in here. I can hold it upside down. I'm not going to shake it, but well, actually, they're in there very snugly. And that's very cool. You could actually put them in like this if you had an insert that worked like that. But this one is supposed to be in flat, but it does work, and that's really, really cool. So I'll put this here. So you see You know, faces are not touching the wall. So that's really well done. Now, we also have this tray here, which is very simplistic. It's really just designed to hold everything. So all the cards go in here, and that is, you know, a little improvement that I would have liked to have seen, but it's just not possible because of the number of cards, and I sleeved them, of course. So if I hadn't sleeved them, I could have split the treasure cards from the others. So these are the treasure cards, but there's too much of them, too many of them, sleeved at least, to fit in one of those. And all the other cards go in here. So you still need to take them out and make separate decks, which I guess can't be helped because there's not much room in the box for everything. Previously, I had them all in a Ziploc bag, so this is certainly an improvement, but it's really just made to store them. You take them out, you make separate decks. I suppose you can leave the treasure cards in here and draw from that, but the other cards you take out and you have to put them on a table. Would have been better if you had separate trays that you could take out, put on the table, and you're done. But there's just not enough room for it, it seems, in the box. I used one of these trays for all of these cubes and one of them for all the dice, and that works just fine. See, that is just a little bit unfortunate, and that's because I sleeved them once again. It fits, but it's not perfect. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Of course, with the sleeve, these are premium sleeves. If you have penny sleeves, you probably won't have that problem, because the premium sleeves are a bit thicker and they kind of suck up some air, so makes them a bit, you know, the stack a bit taller. And I turn these around, and that's the way they go. All the bigger cards go in here, and that is, to me, not really a problem, because you have to just look for the cards you need anyway, you know, for all the bosses and the enemies, and that's really all you need. So it doesn't need to be a deck to draw from. You just look what you need and you take those cards. So those big ones all chucked together isn't really a big deal for me. So the dice and the cubes here, you can take out this side. I'll leave it in right now because I just put everything in. But if you want to have that easily accessible, just take that out and it'll spill on the table. And then you put this back and you can toss them back in later. Here is the room for the 4 heroes. Now, this I found a little bit unfortunate because these clips here are on the front. Would have been better if they were on the back, so you can push them in just like the big bosses. You push them in from the front against the back and then push them down with your thumb. I can't do that now because I have to put them in from the back, and that is very tough because I can't put my finger in there to push on the back of the model. As you can see here, this one I couldn't even get in because, and it says that the warrior is supposed to go here and the knight's supposed to go here, but I swapped them around because of his axe. This one is much smaller, so I put the knight here and the warrior there, and here's the herald and the assassin. Those were labeled correctly. But if I could make one improvement to this insert, I would simply turn these circles around so the clips are actually in the back, and you can push them in from the front and then push down with your thumb here, because that's so much easier. And then there's one big tray which basically has everything else. So all of these things, all of the tokens, everything just tossed in here. Would have been nice, because this is a big tray, if this was a double layered tray with separate spots for everything. I think that's doable. This is a very simple solution. That's probably what I would have come up with had I made this out of foam core or something. But I kind of expect a wooden insert to be, you know, superior to what I can come up with. So this is a bit of a shame that everything is just tossed in here. I mean, it works, and you just take out what you need, really. But it would have been a little bit easier to set up your game if everything was in separate little trays. And it's deep enough that this could have been 2 like little smaller trays on top of each other, even inside this tray, with all of the components, because there's room for that. So yeah, that would have been one improvement, second improvement actually, that I would have made to this tray. The orientation of these clips and this big storage tray. Otherwise, it works fine. So let me just lower this in real carefully with the minis there. So that's that. And then on top of that, you put this one. So this has the separate handle. This worked pretty well. As you can see, all the miniatures are inside. They're not going anywhere. I can hold it upside down. Everything stays in. But again, see, this was back in front, which I guess was necessary because of the laser cut. If you put this one in the front, it would probably just break off. So they put one in the front, one in the back, one in the front, one in the back. These go in very easily because you push them in from the back. These are okay because they've plenty of room for pressing down on the base because their legs are thin. This one went in easily. This one okay-ish because the bigger the base, the easier these clips work. But some of the smaller ones were difficult. These were a bit more difficult because they're small bases, and again, the clips are in the front, and all of these, I feel, again, should have been in the back. Same thing as with the heroes, really. So had those been turned around, I would have been able to put them in much easier than I did now. But once you get them in, they are in tightly, so you don't have to worry about your paint jobs. And yeah, so that it is good, it works. But yeah, 2 points of improvement there. The token tray and the clips for the miniatures facing backward, really. So then you put this in, so you have a bit of a platform for all of your tiles. So you simply take all of the tiles and the warrior boards, and that just simply goes on top. Very easy. Just put those on top of that. Take your rule book, put that on top of that, and that's it. Everything fits inside nicely, and then everything will also sit in flush. So it is a good insert, but it's pretty basic. But it holds everything, and your miniatures are safe should you want to paint them. And so that was my review of the Gift Forge International insert for Dark Souls, the board game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also please check out my Patreon page by clicking the link in the description below or the icon at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.